Wife left me when I was caring for my dying father, but when he made me a millionaire in his will, she came back crawling. Back. I'm 36, married for 8 years, with 2 children, and I'm also the only son of my ailing father. You see, my dad has been suffering from kidney issues for many years, but in the last 2 to 3 years, his condition has deteriorated significantly, and he now needs dialysis twice a week. Initially, he was able to go on his own, but over the past year, he's increasingly asked me to accompany him. He's growing weaker day by day. I've made it a routine that I take him for dialysis every time, because I refuse to leave him alone in this state. He needs dialysis twice weekly, so I've set Saturday and Wednesday. Saturday is my day off, so that's not an issue. For Wednesday, I got permission from my boss to leave early and make up the hours later, working late into the night after returning home from the dialysis. I've been working at this company for 10 years, my boss has seen me as a hardworking, loyal employee, so granting this permission wasn't a problem. But the real issue was at home, with my wife Aile, 34. When she found out I was taking my dad for dialysis twice a week, she got upset. She didn't like it when I took him occasionally before, but she never voiced her displeasure openly. Now that I'd taken on this responsibility wholeheartedly, she couldn't stay quiet. She said there was no point wasting my time on my father. Whatever I did, he'd never be impressed by me. Here's some context. My dad owned a merchandising business, was quite well off, and had accumulated considerable wealth. He wanted me to take over the company, but I was passionate about something else, technology. I loved coding and building software. After school, when he suggested I do business or management courses, I chose a degree in software engineering. He was fine with that, as long as I joined his company, but once I graduated and started working for a renowned tech firm, he wasn't happy. He didn't want me to work for someone else, rather than carry on his legacy. He kept urging me to join his business, but I kept stalling. After I got married, he asked me one last time if I wanted to take over, and I said no. That made him furious. He threatened to give all his wealth to charity and disown me. I still didn't change my mind. I was earning well, bought a car and my own house at 29, and was confident I could build my future without his money. I told him I didn't need his wealth, I could make it on my own. That's when our relationship started to sour. 5 years ago, my mom passed away due to a cardiac arrest, which devastated my dad. I had moved out at 17 for college, started working, and built my own life. The only person my dad had was my mom, and her loss hit him hard. That's when our bond reignited. I began visiting him often, bringing my kids to play with him. Eventually, he stepped down from his company, transferring it to a trust. Aile was never close to my parents before, mostly avoiding visits, claiming my mom was too nosy and that they didn't get along. When Dad announced he'd remove me from his will, Aile started criticizing my parents as mean and evil. I insisted she stay out of my relationship with them, but she kept interfering, saying it was about our children's future. I assured her that our future was secure regardless of Dad's wealth, but she refused to accept that. Now, in the current situation, Aile made a fuss when she found out I'd be accompanying Dad for dialysis twice a week. I tried to explain that Dad had no one but me, his brother lives far away and rarely visits. Since Mom passed, he's been very lonely, and I simply can't abandon him. But Aile refuses to see it that way. Recently, she's made my life hell every Saturday, coming up with plans, hosting parties, deep cleaning the house, outings with the kids, or even trivial things like grocery shopping. I told her she could plan anything she wanted on Sundays, since Saturdays are for Dad's dialysis, but she keeps going ahead with her plans, later criticizing me for being late or missing out. I rush to pick up my dad, take him to dialysis, then drop him home, then rush back to her for her drama and tantrums. It's not just Saturdays, she does the same on Wednesdays. I'd promised my boss I'd work late those evenings to compensate, but she always has plans, meeting friends, visiting family, or attending parties, leaving me to juggle work, cook, care for the children, and finish pending tasks. After a long day at work and dialysis, I'm exhausted, and yet this is my reality. Many times, my dad has suggested I let him go to dialysis with the nurse, because he sees me in a constant rush, checking my watch, stressed out. After dropping him off, I don't even wait, I hurry back home. Sometimes I ask him to be ready early so I can walk him outside before I leave. He has a full-time nurse and caretaker, but I still feel guilty for not spending enough time with him. The drive to the center is about 30 minutes, and I used to enjoy chatting with him then, reminiscing about childhood. But now, with Aile's tantrums increasing, I'm mostly focused on rushing back home, speeding through traffic, taking shortcuts, overtaking, anything to cut down the time. That's the only moment I get with my dad, and I refuse to ruin it by asking him to go with the nurse. As a son, I have responsibilities, but I just can't take it anymore with this woman. Update 1, things are only getting worse. My wife is relentless, doing everything she can to dissuade me from caring for my father. Her argument is that it's a lost cause. Dad had already disowned me and given his money to charity, so why bother wasting energy on him? I don't understand her logic. Do we only do things for profit and gain? What about parents who have no wealth or are poor? Do their children just abandon them because they have nothing to give? After months of her tantrums, I finally told her she wouldn't inherit anything from her parents either, so why does she keep visiting them? That set her off. She yelled that her parents did more for her than my greedy father ever did, supporting her in everything, unlike my dad, who disowned me over my career choices. She said her father would never do that to her, so don't compare her parents to mine. This kind of argument has become routine, almost every Wednesday and Saturday after I get back from dialysis. But it's escalating and turning ugly. Now she yells in front of the kids, bad-mouths my dad, and manipulates them against me. I've heard her say things about him in front of the children, and once I intervened, which led to a huge fight. Her hostility has become a routine. When she's not fighting, I feel something's off, only then she gets more aggressive the next day. I've mostly given up trying to reason with her. I don't yell back. I ignore her, act like she doesn't exist. Honestly, I don't know what else to do. I can't abandon my father just to please her. He disowned me for my decision, but I don't regret it. He had every right to because I refused to take over his business. That company meant everything to him, and he had to give it away. It must have hurt him deeply. Sometimes I think karma's catching up with me for hurting him. Meanwhile, he's growing weaker, barely able to walk, needing support just to get into the car. To save time, I used to ask him to come outside, but now I don't care if I'm late. I go inside, walk him carefully to the car, and then take him to bed, making sure he's comfortable. He's also experiencing shortness of breath, so I walk slowly as he prefers. While driving, I'm extra cautious, no speeding, no sudden turns, to keep his heart rate steady. I don't care about arriving late anymore. Rushing home was futile, it just made things worse. If I have to deal with that evil woman, I might as well keep my dad happy. My casual attitude has only worsened the situation. Yesterday, she told me I have to choose, either my dad or her. I tried to explain that dad isn't here forever, that his health might not last long. But she responded coldly, then choose carefully, someone who will be with you forever or someone who'll die soon. That was so insensitive. I told her I'd choose my dad over her. She's so selfish and evil, especially to a dying man. She packed her bags and left. I didn't stop her. She needed space, and I needed some distance from her. In her absence, I've been managing the house, the kids, and my work. Surprisingly, I feel relieved. Her absence is almost like a breath of fresh air. The day before yesterday, she sent divorce papers. I expected it, but not so soon. I was stunned, but honestly, I felt relief. I simply signed and sent them back. She didn't even ask for custody of the children, that was my main worry, but she didn't want them. When she received the papers, she called me, yelling about how I could just sign without talking to her. Her mother snatched the phone and shouted that I should have acted like a man tried to make her come back. It was laughable. Why would I do that? She wanted a divorce, and I agreed. I told her it was for the best. I got rid of her without any fuss. I even taunted her about abandoning her children and not wanting them. She said I could keep everything, assets and the kids. She didn't want any of it. Her mother said she was young and didn't want the baggage of children. I said, fine by me. I'm happy to have my kids, and I meant it. Still, I worry about how much they miss their mom, especially the younger one. Managing everything alone, work, home, the kids, is tough, but I hope I'll make it through. Update 2. I moved into my dad's house with the children. Best decision I ever made. Thanks to everyone who suggested it, things worked out perfectly. Living here has been good for all of us. Dad gets to be with the kids, and they get their grandpa. His full-time caregiver is there to help, and I now have the flexibility to focus on my personal life and well-being. It's such a joy to see Dad laughing and playing with the children, something I never thought I'd witness. Aile didn't expect this either. She wanted to ruin my life by divorcing me, thinking I wouldn't be able to juggle everything, kids, house, work, Dad. But everything's falling into place. I'm definitely having the last laugh. The divorce was the best thing that ever happened, LOL. Update 3. Sadly, My dad passed away last week in his sleep. He went peacefully, after a day of playing and laughing with the kids. The doctors said he died content. They, along with his nurse and caregiver, say he was happy after I moved in with him, and that his health actually improved during those months. It's heartbreaking to lose your only parent, but I'm grateful he spent his last months happily. My children are also very upset, but they carry the lessons he taught, accept reality and keep moving forward. Life doesn't stop for anyone. I feel proud hearing that from them. They're my strength in these dark days. Yet, there's more. After his death, his lawyer reached out, asking me to come to his office for the will. I thought I knew everything, how Dad had disowned me, left everything to charity. But when I arrived, I was stunned. The lawyer read the will, and I broke down. Dad had left me everything, his business, his house, his wealth. Turns out, I was always his heir. The change I thought he made recently was never made. I was his rightful heir all along. I cried, feeling he never abandoned me, though he threatened to disown me just to push me to take over his legacy. I was still crying when the lawyer comforted me. He said Dad was proud I followed my passion, that I had chosen to pursue my dreams despite his pressure. That I was happy to give up his wealth to do so made him proud. The lawyer told me I could take the company back from the trust and run it myself. I'm seriously considering it. Dad supported me indirectly, and now it's my turn to honor his trust. I went home and told the children about their grandpa's will. He left some of his wealth to them, to be inherited once they turn 18. Today, we visited his grave with flowers, sharing a quiet moment. It's an emotional phase for me. Update 4, a month after Dad's passing, his relatives and friends, long lost, started showing up at my house, sobbing over the news. The most surprising visitor, though, was my ex-wife, Aile. She and her parents came in crying, saying they didn't know about his death and would have attended the funeral if they had. Her parents went on praising my dad, and Aile hugged the kids, crying about missing them. I asked if she missed them so much, and why she hadn't visited in the last 7 to 8 months. She claimed she went to our house but found it locked. Absolute nonsense. I told her, weren't you worried about the kids? Didn't you think it was necessary to contact me and check if they were okay? She had no answer. Her parents chimed in, suggesting we forget the past now that Dad was gone, and that the children needed a mother. They argued it was better to reconcile. I simply laughed. The children need her more when she left them. Now they've gotten used to her absence, and I don't want her back in my life. She started crying. Her parents left, and she held my hands, pleading for reconciliation. She said she loved me and missed the kids. I just laughed and said, "You don't love me, you love the wealth my dad left me. You and your greedy parents are just here to leech off my money." I don't regret calling her out. During our divorce, she called my dad greedy and mean, and I wasn't about to let her have a penny of his hard-earned money. She got offended, claiming I insulted her parents, but I told her she only loved the wealth, not me. She said she loved me before, but now she's entitled to half my assets and half of my dad's wealth. I told her she could do whatever she wanted, she wouldn't get a penny from me. She abused me and left. I discussed her potential legal moves with my lawyer. He said her chances were slim. The divorce was finalized a year before I inherited anything, and the kids are with me. Still, he warned me to supervise her visits carefully. She might manipulate the children and later use them to demand custody or money. I'm grateful for his advice. Now, I'm spending more quality time with the kids, helping them cope with the loss, and making sure they don't run to their mother for emotional support. I've taken over my dad's company, giving me flexibility to focus on my well-being and personal life. I plan to take the children on a trip to the Bahamas. Why not? They deserve a lavish vacation. It's not about overspending. I could afford it before, but I didn't have the time. Now, I want to give them this joy. As for Aile, she's not contacted me since her last visit. I think she's busy rushing from lawyer to lawyer, trying to file a suit against me.